We're live. Hello, Tuesday. Welcome back. Week 16, 4 months and change or so. So yes, nothing very super planned today, but we did have a couple of new releases this week. We'll go over that stuff, and VRD carbons are back in stock. That's a big one. I know a lot of you guys were waiting on those. We got all of our back orders out last Friday, and I think maybe some straggled till Saturday, but back orders shipped really quickly on those. So last week, I know we were not given a hard date, but we knew that they were super close. We just didn't want to give false hope if things changed. But
I think you got your carbon. Thank Dan. He came on the weekend.
Yeah, Dan came in, knocked out as much as he could, to try and get them out to everybody. And it was good. I saw a lot of people already received their, from us. And I know if you back ordered through A-Main, they got theirs delivered today.
Yep.
So they'll start.
Steve's still driving.
Yeah. So delivery was made today, and you'll start seeing all your back orders processed from there as well. So make sure you guys get those. Looking forward to more content as you guys get those built and put out. I continue to watch the videos that get posted up on those, see how people are liking them. It's been positive. It's been fun to watch. So the next year, when places aren't as cold and local comps are firing back up, and looking forward to a lot more info on that as well.
And how they place.
Yeah, exactly.
We're always competitive.
It is always nice to be competitive.
Drives innovation.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. My back order just arrived. Congrats, Bart. I'm glad you finally got yours. The VRD stance bodies are back as well. Those sold out super fast on that first batch, a little faster than we expected. So, but we got the next batch in right away, and those are back on the website. Those are in stock, also in stock at the distributors. So if you're looking to pick them up through somewhere like that, you can grab one. We've got the one Moose Jaw painted up right here. The old school Gulf style livery he did in a patinaed paint job came out really, really nice. So
Actually want to steal this
one. I know we had Moose Jaw paint this one. I was like, this is gonna look really good on the shelf. I'm like, man, that's hard not to steal.
We gotta start telling Moose Jaw when he makes stuff for you to make stuff for other people too.
This is for the shop. Brandon headed this whole thing up. We
know you have sticky fingers.
I think we've had a handful of nice paint jobs done for bodies. Let's see. Did he do? I don't know. I can't remember all the ones that he's done for the shop now. Moose Jaw's painted box art cars for us a couple of times. He did the straight axle Phoenix.
Brandon had that one done that's like that. What's that guy's name from? Was that
that was Aaron.
But that wasn't Moose Jaw, but
I can't remember.
Custom bodies in the shop.
Yeah. There's a number of those custom painted bodies that have hung around, and I have not swiped for my own use.
Some are tempting.
Yeah. I can't. Aaron, did they do it for King of the Hammers? I think they did.
Did they do the diesel truck?
Yeah, it was like a diesel Scout 800 that they built for King of the Hammers. And Aaron Kaufman's his name.
That's the
Arclight Garage. Yeah, we had a paint job done. This was before Moose Jaw was painting professionally.
And their tires improved.
Yeah, this was the VXT one. This was on the very first Pro. I can't remember. This might have been the body I had when I showed the Pro debut. I think it was. And we debuted that in 2019 at Team K&K, their TTC, which would have been number 5, maybe somewhere in there. So it was fun to have a custom painted body, and since it was a kit version and came clear, you could show it in any way, and it still made total sense. So yeah, Moose Jaw did a great job with the other one for sure.
That's perfect.
That is the perfect rig for a giveaway. They're actually, Brandon and Fam were talking about. They've got some plans for next week's show that they're going to do, and while it might not be a giveaway type situation, I think whatever they do plan on the show may be something that's available just as a one-time thing that they'll throw up on the site. So might be fun to start incorporating some of those type of things into the live streams as well. I also am going to try and add a second camera for them for next week. That's on my list. Kind of a close-up view.
Mike started calling themselves the A-Team.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to release a bunch of new stuff today.
No. This
Just
new,
to make sure.
This new streaming setup has an awesome mute button. It's half my screen. I can mute. Aaron Scout doesn't exist anymore. What happened to it? I think I saw that at the Off-Road Expo in Arizona a few years ago, a couple years ago, something like that. I'd be interested to hear what happened to that.
Josh is wearing a members only jacket.
This is a North Face jacket.
He is the last member.
Yeah. Those were before my time. I barely knew what they actually meant. So, yeah, but the things that we released this week, we have the cast knuckle weights available. These are what come in the VRD Carbon kit. They're much less expensive than the machined brass, but they are also less weight. So, couldn't open our packaging. So these are available now. They're $39 for the pair. So get you that little bit of weight still. Nice amount for the carbon kit. Get you just something to start with. If you want to add more, of course, we have options, but these are an economical way to get some weight added on there. So those are on the site. You can pick those up. If you've got a truck, you just want a little bit of extra width, but don't feel like going all the way to the big machined brass ones. Oh, they took it apart, that old Scout. Interesting. I had no idea. Do you think A-Main got enough to fill all the back orders? I have mine ordered through them. Yes, I believe that they've got more than enough to fill the back orders and put some on the website in stock. So any customer or dealer who ordered through A-Main will be able to get their VRD carbons. Hopefully they ship those out super fast. I don't know exactly how fast they turn around the inventory that they get in and then get shipped out, but they're usually pretty efficient. So I hope that's.
They're not going to sale. We assume tomorrow.
Yeah, I would probably assume tomorrow or the next day, be my guess. I know they ship my orders pretty. I don't know how late their shipping crew works, but I've got shipping notifications that all kinds of. I was doing late night shopping the other night and got some notifications.
Definitely later than our crew.
Yeah.
Hi, Dan.
Yeah. Dan's already asleep.
Dan comes here at 5 a.m, though. So I'm going to give him some crap.
Yep. Dan and I don't overlap a lot. So, come back into RC and Friday Night Live is gone. Yeah, I just, I've now transferred to Tuesday instead. Friday, I was already, 2 or 3 days a week, so.
How dare you take a day for yourself?
Yeah.
But you said you're going to keep it for special stuff.
Yeah, I'll still do it when new kits or new releases or things like that are happening.
New excitement.
But yeah, that's probably about the extent of it. Do the older D44s have similar steering to the new HD44s? Yes, very, very similar, actually. The D44 and the HD44s now pretty much share the same C-hub design, I believe.
The original? Or, sorry, the D44s, yes, that was with the Pro Trucks, right?
The D44 was the Origin, yeah.
There's a lot of axles.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure that's the same design on that.
Yeah, so they should have the same setup there, same amount of clearance. Depending on when you. Oh, it says Garth unblock Tom.
I even asked today too. I'm like, what is that?
It's a reference to a podcast
that no one cares about.
Yeah, it's an awesome podcast. Thank you very much. But the only difference may be depending on what axles and what kind of steering clearance you're seeing is. There was a time when we did an update to the steering knuckles that are used. The steering knuckles currently on the site are listed as SCX-10 knuckles. They're the same ones that are compatible with the D44s, the HD44s, F10 straights, all of those. So yeah, that's kind of, we are going to be working on items that are like cross-listed and better information on compatibility. We saw there was a
would help with that.
Yeah,
a marketing guy.
A marketing guy. be great. But also we're working on website stuff, things like that. So we definitely know that we have deficiencies in areas, and that's why we keep talking about a marketing person.
Did you say marketing guy?
Yeah. We're just going to copy what other people do with like the MS Paint ad.
And or
need marketing person,
new designer, or machinist, or
we're always looking for qualified professionals. So
I think the thing is people don't realize the website's done by the guys in the office, so you have to put down what they're doing to go do that.
Yeah, it's Brandon and I. So when descriptions sound like they were written by no,
doesn't he help a little checking it out
every once in a while? But when the descriptions sound like they were written by an engineer, because they definitely were.
I'm surprised you guys aren't using ChatGPT yet.
Yeah.
Write me a description.
Yeah, they do it, but they'd like all make it use all kinds of extra descriptors. And
So
it's
like
that's not how we talk.
Joey's resume from Friends.
Yeah. So,
can't you write dumb it down?
Yeah, you know, the explain to me like I'm 5.
Yeah,
and it actually works pretty well. Also, along with the cast knuckle weights, we also released the molded parts, which is the F10 servo on axle mount and VRD chassis components. So in that mold set, you'll find the stock servo on axle mount that comes on the VRD carbon. So if you've got a set of F10 portals or straights and you want to add servo on top of axle setup, that will be the mold that you'll be looking for, or that parts tree. And you'll be able to bolt that on there. It also includes the VRD skid plate, the little extension for the front side of the skid plate, some of the chassis braces, all of those little things. It's all on one mold, so that's why it comes as one part, but fairly inexpensive. So if you're trying to add servo on axle in the easiest way, that would be your route. It will then transform you into a 4-link setup. So you'll need that extra link. That's not included in that. But you know, that's what we're talking about. Who do we talk about? How do we talk to about PDF manuals? Depending on what truck you're talking about, PDF manuals are already on the website. They're usually linked at the top of the description. It's got a little hyperlink that says PDF manual, click here. So depending on which one you're looking at, check there first. Some of the older ones may not have that, but all of the new kits should. Are the servo on axle, or servo on axle parts compatible with standard VS410? So short answer is no, because of chassis clearance. If you put a servo on top of the axle in the VS410, your servo will just smash into your chassis cross braces. So while you could make it fit by removing those cross braces and using different ones, you know, you can make it work, but you're not going to be able to just put it on there and swap to servo on axle.
I mean, anything's possible, but some take a little more tweaking.
Yeah, it's definitely just going to take you some work. The easier option would probably be the VFD stubby kit and the BTA, because that would keep your servo down low and out of the way, and you could shorten up that transmission. Granted, all the parts, you wouldn't still have all the mounts that would work with the VRD carbon into the VS410, but it would be easier to make work than it would be that one, I would say. Still not a bolt-on, big asterisk, but
Josh would make it work.
If I was going to try and do that, that's the way I would do it. So yeah. Let's see. After the stubby swap, there's plenty of room for a servo winch in between the shock towers. Anything in the works? So I've got mine. This was my comp truck before, and we don't have a part that's in production, but yeah, there is plenty of room. When I ran one, there's these bolt pattern here right in front of the spur gear on the driver's side. I made a plate that sat in there. And I think I 3D printed something. I can maybe put that up as a downloadable part for you guys to just get an STL.
Prototype for the stubby too.
Yeah, you can tell by my bandsaw marks.
And the shaft.
And that is a prototype titanium shaft. It's very, very fancy. But I could probably put that winch mount up, just 3D printable if you'd like to. I ran a Reefs 300 IS comp spec winch up there, and it works fantastic. So still kept the weight or kept the servo flat to keep the spool going out, kept the weight reasonably low in the chassis. Still had to sit just up a little bit so it cleared my servo and servo horn. But yes, you're right. It's a good spot for it. I think that truck is probably just always going to live in here because I think I grabbed it most out of it.
It's pretty relevant to what we're doing
Yeah.
currently. So
It's it's always one of those things. Let's see. What else do we got here? Are these compatible with my Civic? Someone had. I think it's how big of a tire can you fit with no lift? Common internet questions, everyone. So start with BTA. Got it. Yes, it'll drop right in. Maybe not.
I was looking for those answers on the TRX forums.
Oh yeah, right.
How big of a tire can I put in there? Or it becomes a problem.
TRX full size.
Yes.
Got to clarify on this show.
Well, you said Civic.
Yeah. Any chance 1.9 105 wheel in gray? Don't we? We already make that.
Isn't it just gold you don't have?
I think it's only gold that's not available.
You want me to Google it?
I'm pretty positive that we make that one in gray. It's going to be, that's going to be pretty embarrassing if I'm wrong on that.
It's hard to remember everything though.
It is. Let's see. Where are we at here? I was watching Holmes finish his VRD today. When you figure out what hole you want to run the shocks in, how do you get around having to move the body mounts? Yeah, that's what I thought.
There is gray.
We do make it in gray.
You get a VPS number.
Not on the mobile site. You go to the.
But it's currently unavailable.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's what you mean. How about just making them in stock? We're working on all things all the time. The question was about the body mounts. So the big thing is that, yeah, those body mounts are movable and it does tie into the shock towers from the factory. The short answer is, though, if you do plan to move it, just move your shock mount and use a regular M3 captured nut on the backside if it is no longer captured within the body post mounting spots. Because assuming you're already going to have your body post mounts, drilled and all that, if you need to move it and it doesn't line up with any of the spots, just put an M3 nut. There's a little bit of clearance on the backside to help make sure that those should fit, and that'll still get you covered. That way, once things are set, we do use a long screw on those front shock mounts on the upper side. Just use a shorter one to hold the body post in place and go to a different screw for the rest of your shock mount in its place. Shouldn't be any stretch on anything. Yeah, like on mine, actually, I actually have it that way on mine. That second camera angle become real handy right now. But you can see I've got an M3 nut up here and my body mounts are lower. Yeah. That was because I had adjusted mine over time.
Touch it.
Yeah. So small tuning things, but a valid question. Totally reasonable to wonder on that. I'll go watch the second half of Holmes's build. I watched the first half, and it was a long video, but he didn't end up getting through it. I was gonna text him about that. Let's see. What Vanquish has to work with AR45 straight axle. So we don't make a direct drop-in AR45 axle. The AR45s came out after the design of our F9 straight axle, the D44, etc. And they were so close but different, and the knuckle was different, and and. So as far as the straight axles, ours is so close that it was just like, we make ours, and hopefully, if that's what you're after, you can use those in its place instead. And ours has got a hair more offset to it, so gets things a little bit more out of the way. If we made an axle that was exactly the AR45 spec, it wouldn't have worked in a lot of our stuff, and it would have been even more confusing to customers. So we do make a AR45 portal axle, but just not the straight axle only. Are those bumpers metal? Yeah, those were day before leaving for Colorado, needed to weld up a bumper. So
Isn't that all your builds?
yeah, well, that one I was doing the whole series on my nationals builds right before, but I wasn't really showing my class 2 truck because it was the VRD. So I wasn't like, here it is, here it is, here it is. So I just kind of like, I'm not working on it. And then all of a sudden finished it right then, got on a plane, and as
far as you weren't working on the plane.
Yeah, was that the year? No, that was not a year. It was the year before where I filleted my thumb with a deburr tool the day before I left. Could have went better. Let's see. Will Vanquish be making polished brass transmission mounts to go with my reef servos? Brass is expensive. It's a cool looking material, but I don't know that we'll be going wild with a wide variety of brass accessories to now go with our brass servos.
I did think about doing a brass ripper.
Oh my god.
It would be easy just to stick the material in place, run the same feeds and speed, just for a couple.
I mean, it would look gold.
I think it would look awesome.
Man, we'd have to buy full bars of that material, though.
Yeah.
That'd be so expensive.
So we'll make 6.
Yeah.
But you don't want one. So.
Yeah. You're gonna have to like polish it and then put it in a vacuum just so you don't have to touch it again.
I think you can do a certain polish for that.
Beeswax or something like that.
I might have to change the programs that have more step over though. Get them like really clean.
Give it to Bob and let him buff it.
Yeah, that works too.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, talking about in stock and out of stock on the 105s. Yes, we'll definitely get. What about I don't know what that's in reference to. Leaks, cough. No leaks.
I just leaked some. A team has to win.
That's a theoretical. We're also talking about doing
I'm gonna go buy a piece of material. I'm gonna go throw it through the program.
We're also talking about doing a platinum one. So
no, brass is cheaper.
I'm not sure how platinum is to machine. Let's see. I'm having trouble with the hot racing overdrive gear set they prefer in the Fordyce front axle. Would purchasing the F10 aluminum third member eliminate the grinding by any chance? So I know exactly what you're talking about. I've used that overdrive gear set from Hot Racing before as well. I've had hit or miss with a number of brands on overdrive gear sets. We make an underdrive gear set, which you just put in the rear axle instead, and it's very smooth. If you have an overdrive one that's just real notchy, kind of grindy, you can hit it with an aggressive wire wheel to try and smooth it out a little bit. But generally, they're not really going to putting it in a machine third member isn't necessarily going to fix it. They just sometimes seem to be machined not quite as well. So it may work itself in over time. It may not, or it may cause a lot of drag, but just replacing the part, you may not find much of a benefit. I've ran into that. Axial's got overdrive gears. You can try theirs or our underdrive gears, but put them in the rear axle. That one gives you a little bit more gear reduction anyway. So I prefer that method. That's also why Brandon decided to do underdrive rather than overdrive for our products.
And torque twist.
Yeah, a little bit less torque twist by reducing the gear ratio even further. But are underdrive, overdrive gears better in the axle or portal? In the end, it's all, reduction in the axle is nice because it's at the end of your drivetrain. So you can reduce torque twist as much as possible. Now, as far as strength goes with ring and pinion versus portal box, it is nice to do it in the ring and pinion because those gears are larger and they're one step before the final reduction. So you have a little bit more strength. If you do it at the portal box, the closer or the further you get in size between the top and bottom gears, the weaker they'll become. So less overdrive is usually or I guess less reduction is the strongest option. So closest to 1-to-1. But that's why we include the overdrive gears, which have less reduction in the portal kits out of the box generally. So they're a stronger gear set, and that was just something that we did over time to try and offer the best thing that we could. But yeah, the difference in actual gear ratio is another thing, depending on how much you're looking for. But that's if you're just looking for strength, if you're looking for overall number, yeah, you're going to get more from the gear set than the ring and pinion. But what else do we have here? Any recommendations for what I need to look for on my 410? I seem to be going through rod ends on the rear upper link mount. Rear uppers. I guess if you might be running a portal, it's you just got a lot of leverage on those. You can try the HD, or sorry, I think we call them the Pro rod ends, which are a stiffer material. So easy swap. They're, I don't remember the part number offhand, but something that is a little bit stiffer, so less likely to stretch. Where are the one machined wheels at? There is no, just because I'm playing with a tinier version of trucks doesn't mean I've talked anybody else into saying that they like them yet either. But
but if we were to make everything you touch,
yeah, oops,
maybe we'd be making everything.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, I like this. I like.
Apparently, we'd be making motorcycles too, right?
Yeah, we had fun with our low-C dirt bike as well, but no, I accidentally just banned someone. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to just mute for 30 seconds, but I will undo that later. But you know what you did. That's what.
Spammer.
My bad. And maybe I did just do timeout. Well, what would be the Shockwave way use without using the quotes? So what would you call it? Running like a droop style setup. That's not something I do personally. It's just not a setup that I prefer. So I don't really have a setup to suggest because it's not something I've tuned with as recently to give you much of a recommendation. So that
I'm trying to understand the benefit of an Inconel axle.
So I've never even touched Inconel. I know you've machined it in the past.
It's not fun.
It's just that's just a super hard steel.
Pretty much. It's not fun steel to cut, like especially in production and little tools. Oof.
Yeah, the size of the tools that we use for axles, that would be a.
Yeah.
I'm happy to not have. Oof.
Guess I'm trying to miss the benefit of it. Even if we were to do steel,
I mean, it would rust.
It would be steel.
It would look patina, and you could say Inconel.
So it would look like a Jeep.
Yeah, my Jeep. Little bit of surface rust coming from the Midwest. Everyone here thought it was going to fall apart.
Your Honda had surface rust.
No, the Honda was rust.
No, you said it was surface rust. It was falling apart.
That was bubbling through the fenders. So
I think we touched the paint and our finger went through.
Yeah, it was a 94 Honda. Direct power servo or run a BEC. So I've got a lot of both. I think mainly how my choices have changed over time is when I've been running like the stubby kits, like we've got for the VFD stubby, I was running them with outrunners, which I could run on these little ESCs that were 4S capable. And in that case, I had to add a BEC in most cases with those anyway, because they didn't have one built in. So then I was either just running one of those little teeny tiny BECs to power just my receiver, and then I'd run a direct power servo and I didn't have much to worry about. But when I'm running a Fordyce or something like that, lately I've been running a lot of the Fusions just because they're so easy. Throw a motor in there, you don't have to wire up a separate ESC, and I could just throw a 1100 ounce inch smart servo on there and be good. It's one less thing I had to buy, get all the power I still wanted. and the voltage or the power doesn't really change throughout your battery pack. With a direct power servo, it was Nabil, who's longtime comp guy. He had pointed out something that made me think of things a little bit differently at one time. He runs mainly non-direct power servos because the power is consistent throughout the entire battery pack, since it's being stepped down or the voltage is being controlled through another unit. It keeps it consistent the whole time. Or a direct power servo, especially if you're competing and you're running a small pack, as that pack voltage draws down or sags even, you lose a considerable percentage of your power on your servo. So
It's 330.
it is 330. If you're on Facebook, thank you for joining. But jump over to the YouTube page. The second half hour of the show will be live on YouTube. So you see there, go subscribe to that. If you watch over there, or hit the notification bell on YouTube so you get notifications just like Facebook. But appreciate you guys joining over there. Jump over to YouTube.
Save changes.
Two-step verification. I'm canceling that side.
Well, this should be with your banning too.
Yeah, I know. Like, what was it? Vanquish snob. Let me know if you're back.
Did their feet get cut off too?
Yeah, it just shuts off his computer on him. So yeah, there you go. Holmes 2-in-1 would be sweet. It would be sweet. I hope that becomes a thing ASAP.
Oh, we went with Brad Perry. He's on Facebook.
Come back, Brad.
Come to the dark side.
Just run a stronger direct power servo then. No crying about losing a small percentage of torque. I mean, you can run a super strong non-direct power and it's still the same thing. But yeah, it is one of those things. And you can, if you look at what your final voltage percentage is on a fully charged LiPo, it can be considerable, not just like a 10%. So you can get down a little bit more. There's pluses and minuses to both, and I run both, but it was an interesting way. Nabil's a pretty fierce competitor. He's been around for a long time.
Super intelligent.
Yeah. He's a super smart guy. A lot of times he'll point something out in a way that's like, oh, it's a really interesting way to think about it. I like that, and took the advice at times. So that comp rig that you saw there is running a direct power. So I don't necessarily follow that 100%, but I've thought about it. Just it's something I've kept in mind and taken that perspective into account. But if you're only using 150 mile out of a pack on a comp run, how much would it actually affect? I mean, it's a good point, Brett. But if you're, out of a 450 pack, that's still a pretty decent. So you're still, if you go from 4.2 per cell to, 3.9, 3.8, not nothing. When you could just have the same amount of power the whole time, why not just have all of the power all the time anyway? Let's see. I need a servo and to paint the interior body of my Ultra kit for my truck's Fortune. Will be done. This kit went together so smooth, and the manual has great instructions. Thank you. That was fun. So the Trucks of Fortune is over. Asterisk again. I have to check. We held like 5 just in case.
You should send Mike an email.
Yeah. Are they back? Are they coming? I think currently the listing has been removed and things like that. And like I said, there was like 5 held back just in case there was any issues with orders, anything like that was needed. I've got those. And if everything gets cleared and everything's done, I'll probably sneak those 5 out. But at the end of everything, there is a very small little pile of Ultra kits and a small, little bit larger pile of Pros, but not very many. And then that's the end of both of those. So the Ultras won't make it back onto the website because there's such a small amount. And I think what we're going to do is I have a small number of Wheels of Fortune left as well. So I think I'm just going to bundle up what I have left: Wheels of Fortune and Ultra kit, Wheels of Fortune and a Pro kit, and put those up on the side as like a flash deal. So probably try and make that coincide with a live stream, just so.
Wouldn't that be a sneak? I mean,
That's a little bit of a leak. Little bit of a leak. Only
remember,
barely.
it's okay when Josh does it.
Yeah, it's not a leak. It's a teaser. No. Of a product that already exists. But I think that's how I'm going to do those, because that's the end of those for now. Those are discontinued. So the maybe I'll try and do that for next week. We'll see. Brandon and Fam have a plan for next week. So maybe I won't try and steal their thunder. Maybe we'll do it for the follow. We'll see. We'll see. I'll get it announced on a live stream at some point so that you guys have a first crack at it. I haven't seen was it Axial Snob that I oh wait, there he is. Vanquish Snob. Sorry, not Vanquish Snob. Careful, Jim, it'll put you in a timeout. I'll do it again.
Hey, if it gives me quiet from him, I'll take it.
What was in the SBG special boxes? I've seen them post. So I forgot to put on my little bill of material when they were packing the boxes based on how. So when we were doing this operation, I came up with my spreadsheets and all the combos that had to be done, and I just give her a stack of sheets. Said this many of this combo, this many of this combo, and threw out this whole thing. And Matt had got to pick one, but I forgot to adjust the bottom line where it said special card. And I forgot to make it say the SBG special one that we're going to do. So if you got an Ultra in the last batch with a set of wheels, and I'd have to look at what the other part was or parts. But that you were supposed to get an SBG card. Well, don't worry, it had 0 value, so you still got all of your same money.
You can release that for Trucks of Love.
Yeah. No. No. I need 6 months of recuperation. Mentally.
That's just funny sound.
I know. Spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are the best.
He is a nerd.
Spreadsheets for everything. What is the pink item with the rainbow color on the ship? That?
The Gotta Go Flamingo?
That's the Gotta Go Flamingo. That is a pooping flamingo.
Did we ever do that online yet?
I can't remember. You may all be fans of Knight Customs, James Knight from Knight Customs. And many of you may not know that he works professionally in the toy world. And he got to be involved with
the turtle.
The Gotta Go Flamingo.
What's the turtle?
The turtle.
Turtle.
Yeah. So you too can go anytime you know that James Knight is going to be at an event.
You should buy one and bring it to him.
Yeah. Find yourself a Gotta Go Flamingo on Amazon and then have him sign it. We had a handful of people. Get it. Oh, it also mocks you. It repeats all of the things that you say, which was a hit in the office when we first got it.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It comes with a little, you feed it, and then it poops into this thing. That's it. So James Knight, not just making yeah, so there you go. This is another Jimmy Knight creation. Nope, it's not going to talk now. Yeah, this is why I say you should get it and take it to an event. I'm going to kill it.
Wait, Josh sucks.
No, I forget how to turn it off.
It's the switch.
It is right there.
Stop trying to put your finger in that spot.
Yeah.
That's not how you turn it off.
VRD with straight axles would be nice.
Doing the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Brandon and I did a straight axle swap on the VRD Carbon on one of the shows a handful of weeks back. This straight swap, so super easy, doesn't require any links. You can run the same shocks. You can just adjust geometry if you want a little bit different setup. But yeah, it's absolutely just a drop-in difference. So F10 straight axles are available. If you wanted to do that yourself, yeah, it could be, something that could be configured down the road, but for right now, it's not in the plans. But an easy swap if you're trying to build something that's a little bit lower. The VRD, the carbon already, even though it has portals, which raise things up, the motor and everything is so low with that transmission, and the lightweight gear set in the trans also keeps the weight low. So the center of gravity with that, even with portals, is extremely low. I would say as low as just about anything, it's going to compete with. So on a Vanquish live show, yes, it was on here. Brandon and I don't title the shows very descriptively, so I probably can't tell you exactly what show that was, but yeah.
Because you make a lot of time for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, crap. I think I knew about this 5 minutes before.
Yeah. I mean, I set it up 2 hours ago.
No, but me, I was like, oh, man, it's 3:55 or 2:55.
I got to go. Logan's video was awesome. Yeah, Logan did a great job with his VRD video. He did he do? I think he might have done a couple of them, but the terrain out there
in the West Desert Wheel.
Yep, Logan's
that was pretty cool.
The terrain out there in Utah is amazing. Even we have beautiful terrain here as well, but Utah terrain always makes me jealous. Absolutely love it. So will the Wheels of Fortune be packed with the Pro and Ultra or sold separately? I'm just going to put them with those that are left over. Beyond that, I'm not planning to sell Wheels of Fortune separately. I'm not making any more. It's just the ones that I have and those kits that I have. And it'll just be like a flash deal, go up. Hopefully we just sell them on the live stream and then it's done.
Seems like the word toenail is sticking.
Yeah, I know. the whole flat of those. So I set the lights to warm today rather than cool white, and I feel like it makes the color look a little bit better. I feel like when it's that cool white color.
If you want to say the word champagne, that makes some sense too. It's not the color I would use.
Yeah, it's not the worst. I think it looks great on the impacts, but yeah. Let's see. X-Gage has done a great job of VRD videos, more than anyone else. Yeah, he's definitely put out a ton of videos on the VRD. He did some comparisons. He's got his home rock course there, or something that I believe is very close to him. I think it's on his property, but yeah. Clear bedsides coming. Yes, clear bedsides for the Phoenix and Fordyce will be here soon. I don't have an exact date to give you on that, but yes, those will be coming. Painted cabs for the Phoenix also were something that
people. That's pretty funny.
We've had so some of you may have been familiar with, there was a 2.2 wheel that we sold some time ago called the SHR. And it was kind of like an old school rally kidney bean style wheel. And it was made from the blank of the KMC 795. We had a handful of these lathe blanks that were left, and we were just like, we need to come up with a profile and make a wheel out of these, since the 795s had kind of died off and it wasn't as popular of a style anymore. So we took that amount. I think I drew up that wheel. We cut it out, and Steve grabbed it. It's like, oh, this looks like my high school rims. So
more people know what this means, though.
We were like, oh, cool. Steve's high school rims, SHR. That's the name of the wheel. Done. Marketed. This is why we need marketing.
Yeah. In-house marketing is not doing so well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when people hear the reasoning behind it.
Oh, I know.
That's why they called it that.
The IFRs. Like, what is this? It's like the inner front ring. Like, named. Done.
Was it VE1?
Yeah. The VE1, the VS1.
Vanquish Servo 1.
Yeah.
Vanquish Electronics 1.
Yeah. Vanquish ESC 1. Yeah. VM1. Do you know which one that is? I think someone actually pointed out the naming of our electronics. Like, this is creative. Like,
we all talked about it. It made sense.
Like, it's RTR Electronics. It's going to get the job done. It's not going to be anybody's.
But when a customer brings it up, you know exactly what they're talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly. Is that the one
And
or
we know
the
we have a
two?
revision.
Yeah. The Scarn is my favorite of all time.
Stupidest name ever. You know, they didn't tell me until it was on the website. I'm like,
It's a type of rock.
horrible.
Brandon wanted that name as a truck for some time. I was a huge proponent.
I think I got it from Office or something.
It's a type of rock. That's where Brandon got it. He was going through a list of types of rock, and he was like, "Oh, Scarn, that's a very cool name. We should name a truck that." And I was like, "Yes, we should. That's a great idea, Brandon." And you guys didn't like it. And then it came to a beadlock. We're like, "We're just naming it this, and we're moving on." And then everyone's like, "Michael Scarn, Golden Face." Brandon had no idea until the people on the internet told him. It's
Please find us a marketing guy.
It's all just inside jokes in here. This office, everything. It's just
That's just the stuff we could show you guys.
Origin, like it's kind of like our first truck. Call it the Origin. Okay. Done. Meeting.
If I was a pro, this is what I would do.
Anything is better than Fordyce. It's a very popular trail in our area.
Hey, you sound like Mike now.
I know.
Mike named it.
Yeah.
He was so happy to name a truck.
Oh, he was. He was so excited. He's like, I named this truck. He owned it. He was proud.
The problem is Josh usually runs every name through Google and see what pops up.
I do. I Google. I make sure I check. And I think I checked copyrights and I checked.
Even when we did Incision, you're like, I don't know.
Well, I checked that. And the one thing I missed when we decided to name the second brand Incision is like when you combine product names with the brand name. So when people were like Googling incision method, we're like, oh God.
He's a cutter.
Yeah, like, so, it's we learn something every time because we're new at this and not professionals. But we make toys, so it still works out. What was there was one in here. What is the process for naming a new car? I mean, generally, we each throw around a bunch of names that we have found some sort of theme to Google on, and then we present them to each other. And everyone makes fun of everyone else's choices.
We try to make fun of it because if we can make fun of it, someone else will.
Somehow that one made it through. But yeah, generally it's just a handful of throw things around until we come up with what we like. And then
harder than you think to name stuff though. Even though we're kind of critical to ourselves, but
yeah,
I mean, Fordyce sound like a good name.
It did. It's a real.
It was a cool trail. Now I'm kind of wondering what they do on that trail.
Yeah, like, oh man.
And Mike's been
there. Yeah.
I can hear him cursing probably from here.
Yeah.
I played him the Mikey Likes It commercial this morning.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't remember the first part of it, so I'm like, give it to Mikey. He hates everything.
Yeah, I didn't remember that either. Let's see. What's the benefit of having two brands? That was something. So Incision was started in 2016 initially, and it was one of the things. Like at the time, we were producing titanium links for a number of trucks, but the cost of titanium is very high, and we were like, well, we'd like to offer things such as, another option for something we already make, but just at a, lower price point, something that's, can be maybe the less premium option. So that was the thought behind like, okay, we'll do stainless links, and the stainless links will be under Incision, the tire will be under
and there's motor mounts.
Vanquish. And then we did, some difference in machined parts that were very similar, but maybe just not quite as machined or not.
That's elegant.
Less detail, machining, things like that. There was just a number of things that we could do that would be in those. Then also when we started outsourcing like some gear cutting, things that we couldn't do in house, we're like, well, that we can put under the incision brand. It was a way to kind of look at differentiating things in some ways, and there's it just gives us an option for certain situations. It's not always the easiest thing to determine. We have discussions about where things should go at times, but the incision wheels were another thing at the time. The incision wheels use a different hub, and at the time that was because of a limitation of manufacturing that we had. Since then, things have changed, and now would we maybe have 2 hub patterns? Probably not, but at the time it made a lot of sense, and it allowed us to cut labor or cut machine time, labor costs down.
We had to
quite a bit.
reduce the diameter to fit the equipment we had to come up with a more affordable brand.
Yeah,
and that's why we did it.
So things at times happen. That's why sometimes products end up going out of production. It's just things get updated to a different way or whatever it is. But VRD, titanium VRD link kit, that's something we could do. I think that the titanium link kit would probably be more accepted in that truck rather than we've done titanium link kits for the Pro and the Phoenix and things like that, and they weren't something that as many people jumped onto. Brandon and I both like titanium in those applications in that place, but it wasn't something that normal scale or trail guys were after as much. So it's something that could be a thing. Let's see. What would I need to fit a half cab on a Phoenix Portal? The body set, of course, and you'd want to pick up the sliders and a body post set. And then that should be pretty much it. The front shock towers in the stock configuration, you'll need to flip from left to right to make the body post holes line up with the inner fenders. But I believe that's all you need. I think at that point, it'll drop right on there. You'll probably want the bumper sets just because it'll match the width of the body better.
Or Ace incision kit.
I'm not even.
I think someone would actually work good for marketing us.
Yeah. Send your suggestions.
VP support.
Yeah.
Products.com.
Let's see. What's the difference in link size between the VRD and the VS410 VFD? Thinking of doing a skid swap to VRD skid for my custom flat wheel. As far as link length differences, I can't give you those numbers right offhand. I know the VS410 ones, but I don't know the VRD ones off the top of my head. I can't necessarily give you that. The VRD skid plate does have a different bolt pattern than the VFD skid or an axial style skid, anything like that. So you will need to make sure that that VRD skid is compatible with whatever you're planning to use. It's pretty close. It's not a huge difference, but it is a different bolt spacing, and it was specifically because of some link clearances and transmission clearances to get everything as low as possible that had to be slightly adjusted. So we know that, it's so close that it would have been nice if it was the same, but if it got us a couple or a few more millimeters lower with the transmission, it was something that we were fine with doing. So, is there an advantage to titanium over stainless steel links? It's a lot less weight, and that's something that for the competition stuff, we like to reduce weight anywhere you can, and then just add it back where you feel it's going to benefit you the most. Links are one of those areas. Like titanium, you can have a thin profile for better clearance and keep the weight low. Stainless steel is very reasonably economical. It's plenty strong, and the weight of it is actually pretty decent. So if you want to add a little bit of that heft to a scale truck down low to offset a taller, heavier body, makes sense there as well. It's just different reasons, different ways people like to set up their cars or tuning. What pinion do you run, or what pinion do you like on a Phoenix running 3S with your stock spur? I run the stock pinion in mine. I run a 2300 kV stock pinion, stock spur 3S. It's a solid setup. I don't change it. But, a lot of the stuff that the people will have different opinions. Brandon and I often, will choose kind of what we would run ourselves, and that's what we put in the kit. So a lot of the questions are just going to be like, run what came in the kit. That's what we liked, and that's why it's there. 5 minutes. 5 minutes left. How are the drift wheels coming along? Still collecting that dust? Yep.
Because you haven't been busy though.
I have yeah. My random projects through the day have kept me from getting those knocked out. I mean, it's not that I have to go individually wash them myself, so it's not like it's a huge time-consuming thing on my part.
Sonic there.
I could just tell somebody during the day to go do it, and then it would. But I have to remember to make that happen, and I obviously haven't. I do think about it, but it's usually like 10 minutes before the stream. I'm like, God, I didn't do that again. So I'll have to send a set myself a reminder. But yes, we only have a few minutes left. You have your last questions in there.
I didn't notice is some people have questions for me in particular. If they want to, they can Instagram me.
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes we don't want to answer certain questions on this form. So
I pick and choose and just
yeah. So I know Josh answers a million questions on his. If you ever need to ask me that,
yeah, Jim's
I'm always open to that too.
Ripper Machinist on Instagram. I'm Harley Designs Inc. on Instagram. Vanquish Instagram as well. That one, we try and answer comments when we can. Messages on that page are a little bit more out of hand and harder to get to all of them, but
it's a lot.
We all have our own pages, and
I answer.
A marketing guy could answer almost all of those,
or some of them.
So, again, yeah, if you do have questions, feel free to reach out. Technical stuff, whatever it is, as long as it's not like an order question, that's got to go through the website. Because
I might as well say again, we are looking for a marketing guy and or another machinist or designer.
Yeah, in-house, Sacramento area, California,
especially the machinist.
In case you didn't know, but always always looking if you'd like to play with toys and
adult toys of robots is what we do.
How was the comp Sunday? Phoenix, it went well. I won my first mini crawler comp or 124 scale comp.
First or second?
I won. It's the first one I've won. It's not the first one I went to. It's the first one I've won.
Did you take first?
I did.
Oh.
Made $160 with a mini car.
Congratulations.
I know. Like, oh, look at this.
Didn't make
20. So I'm recouped $140.
Didn't you pay like $900 for your car?
I'm
sorry. Is Nicole watching?
No, it's just those little cars. They're just as expensive as the bigger ones.
Not more.
I know. God.
Do you make little axles?
1510. Do you need what would they be? We just call them F-24s. I mean, it makes sense, right?
Got it.
No cardboard management positions.
This week you didn't want that position.
Yeah, you did not. That was a labor-intensive job this week.
We still don't have it finished.
No, we don't. We still need to do another trailer load to the recycling. So there you go. As always, appreciate you guys watching. We'll be back next week. Fam and Brand
B team will be back.
B team will be next week. Fam and Brand will be here. I will get a second camera angle set up for them, though. That is something I think I can get knocked out quickly. So they're going to build something, and then I think that they're going to offer that up on the site. We'll see how exactly that works out, but it's going to be fun. Again, if you're a marketing professional and you'd like to send us an email, do that. Website, social media, whatever it is. Appreciate you guys for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday. Still makes me chuckle every time.
Which part?